Hirokazu Kosaka. I live in Los Angeles, and I work for the Japanese American Culture and Community Center, where I am artistic director. I've been there 27 years. I go back to Japan about twice a year, and from Los Angeles, I arrive in Narita Airport International, and I stay there one night. And the next morning, I take the bullet train that's been running for last 40 years, and I reach the destination, the ancient capital of Kyoto. And I get off the platform, and I see my a childhood friend who is a taxi driver. And the automatic door opens. He has white gloves on, and I get in, and he asked me if I want to watch a baseball game on his 5-inch plasma TV on his dashboard. And from the station, it takes about 3 or 4 hours occasionally to my home, and which is a Buddhist monastery. It's 800 years old. And when I reach the back door, I enter from the back door, and occasionally I see my uncles or my father raking the garden or fixing this great edifice. And occasionally he, without saying hello, he points to this great gable roof underneath this eave where I see my childhood friend, which is a spider. I grew up all my life watching the spiders from a child. And I remember when my great-grandfather was living, he told me that these spiders had been living here from 17th century. And as a child, I said, how do you know that? And I remember one day he took this scroll, a very old ancient scroll, was painted by or written by a monk who lived in 17th century, writing about these spiders who lived as part of the section of this temple. And that's where I came from, and I think all my life I live as an interdependency with this kind of spiders, how bullet train comes in seconds, and the immaculate taxi driver. And I remember my father telling me, you are here in this life to observe. And I kept that in a way. Even today, I see this role for me to be here to observe, not to explain things or digest anything, just to observe. And that's where I come from. Yeah. And other things like calligraphy, for example, was very important for training. And it's for me too, presently. I practice my calligraphy a lot. And every morning I come to my office in Los Angeles, and I prepare my ink, which is a charcoal. Charcoal or carbon is essentially, it's used not black, the color black. I think we in the Western culture, when we say charcoal, it's black, but it's infinite shades of gray. And I think when you see a Japanese or Chinese painting, it's not a black and white painting, but it's just this incredible gray painting. And that's very important to, I think, looking at this particular Japanese art. And so, like sumie, for example, we call that these watercolor paintings made with the charcoal, is called the fire and water paintings, because the charcoal is a byproduct of fire. And when you add water to it, it becomes this ink. So the painting itself is water and fire, in sort of a interdependency, if you will. And when you have this incredible black and white and those infinite shades of gray, it becomes a very different, I think, observance for the person who's looking at it. And I think for me, as I look at the Western art and the Japanese art or Chinese art, I think the Western paintings, especially in the Renaissance, I think it tells me who they are. But when you go back to the same century in Japanese or the history in China, and you look at this very beautiful landscape, there's no human in it. Maybe a human within this very vertical landscape. There's maybe someone fishing in the lake. You can't even see it. You need a magnifying glass to look at it. But essentially, it tells me who I am. This is a very different observance of art. The practice also, my long time, is the tea ceremony. And the tea is, again, it's very practice in a way same as calligraphy or the bowmanship. It is a notion to have this immediate action without intervening thoughts. Don't think about it, but just drink it. And it's really hard to do when you have an incredible sort of a ceremony that it takes more than an hour to drink and without thinking of it. But it's, again, a longevity of practice and constant practicing in that you become the bowl and that bowl becomes you. And one piece that I did with sort of a tea ceremony is that I had a ceramics made hundreds of tea bowls. And same time, I was working with this dancer, sort of contemporary dancer, and I created this stage, very raw clay. It's wet clay, and I think it was 3 tons of clay. And I built it for him. And just prior to the opening of this performance, this tea bowls, which was in kiln all 2 days or something, it was very hot. And so the ceramist brought this very hot tea bowls onto the stage, and have left it there. And when the audience came in and the performance started, these hot tea bowls with the glaze crackling, I don't know, a lot of people have never heard this one, but it's like crystal when you hit the wine glass or something. It's making that ping sound. And the duration of that ping sound, that sound was the background music for a dancer to dance between. And so that is one of some of the things that I do. Yeah, I think, again, going back to this tradition of calligraphy, bowsman, it is a collaboration. The great craftsmen of brush maker, great craftsman, paper maker, all are, interdependent within each other, and it's a collaboration. And I think without them, I won't able to do it. Without a dancer, without a trumpeter, and without a curator like Judy, I wouldn't able to do it.